Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel, TammyTalks here. So, I know I missed a couple episodes of Celebrity Big Brother, but it comes on like it's constantly on. So, this recap is mainly to talk about episode 5, which came on Monday night. I actually just got done watching it. I planned on watching it yesterday, but I had a super crazy day. But let's go ahead and talk about it. So, if you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each recap. So if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you enjoyed this particular video. Hop in the comment section and let's talk about this, y'all. So I actually want to go back to the first eviction really quick. I am so pissed that Teddy got evicted, mainly because I've told you guys that this is my first season watching Big Brother, so I'm still trying to get used to like how to play the game and all this other type of stuff. And like, I know somebody in the comments said that the alliances and stuff are totally different than how they are when they're building alliances on like real world for the challenges and stuff like that. So trying to process all of that, but I do not like Misha. I was really bothered with the fact that Todrick asked Misha to kind of save him that first challenge. She said yes. And then Teddy literally asked her for the exact same deal, and she said it's too early. So, and I get that with this is, popularity contests and stuff like that, but that kind of really pissed me off. Only for Teddy and Misha to come to an understanding and make an agreement with one another, right? And then for Misha to like backdoor her anyways and then be like, it's just the game. Like, I don't get it. And that's like, girl, okay. Instead of you trying to like at least strategize with her in this, I was so mad when Teddy went home. I was. It pissed me off, y'all. And I just feel like Misha is dirty for what she did. And it could just be me not knowing how to play the game. And this is why I can't be on games like that. Because I'd have been going off. Like, why you put me up after we just had this conversation about how I didn't like that, Misha. I didn't like that. So this episode, episode 5, starts off with Chris Kattan and Miria are on the block. Girl, Miria, twice in a row. And then Misha is talking to Chris, Kirkpatrick. She's talking to NSYNC, and she's telling him how she wants Carson on the block. I want Carson on the block. Or I'm sorry, this is what she's saying in her confessional. And I guess my issue is, girl, it's not your turn no more. You're not head of household. Now, you tried Carson last time because you thought that you didn't think that he would be that strong of a character when he was, because he bust y'all ass in that little game where he was walking around with the clocks and stuff. So you saw him as more of a threat. I think Misha is underestimating people, and I think she's kind of looking at people in terms of physical strength, athleticism, when a lot of games and challenges sometimes are more mental than anything. So we have NSYNC, and he's talking to Carson and Cynthia, and he is saying how he wants Carson and Cynthia to stay in the house because that takes the heat off of him a little bit. So even though he knows that Misha and Todrick want Carson up on the block, he's not doing that. So Miria is talking to Todrick, and she's telling him that she's very loyal to him and Misha. And I'm like, girl, don't be. Because Todrick is only loyal to Misha to cross her, and Misha's not only loyal to Todrick because she's a fan. Misha has rubbed me the wrong way. I've never liked Todrick, but Todrick at least isn't going back on his word. So Todrick is telling Miria, like, yes, I'm down for you. You've proven to be like a good competitor and a good teammate and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Todrick, I don't trust you either, because you smiling in everybody's face and then you turn around and run and kiss Misha's ass. So Lamar is talking about how he had a dream about his son that died. He had a baby that died from SIDS, and he said that he thinks it's because he hasn't grieved yet. So he probably just really needs to like just cry it out. So then we have Misha and Todrick, and they are trying to convince NSYNC to put Carson on the block. And they're like, yeah, well, it'll just be really good for our games and all this other stuff. And NSYNC was like, yeah, Good for your game. This week is all about me and my game. See, last week when we went along with that plan, it's because you were HOH. This week is all about me. And Tadrick was like, I feel like he just got a little snippy with it. And it's like, yeah, because y'all are trying to manipulate him and influence him to do what's going to work best for your game. Like, why would you even think that he was going to do what works best for you and not what he thinks is in his own best interest? So Misha is kind of looking like, well, I guess we're not all on the same page. We're not in sync. No, y'all not in sync. Y'all not in sync, Misha. So then we have Shayna and NSYNC, and they're talking, and they're kind of going over different strategies and stuff like that. And Shayna mentions putting Tadrick up. I said, oh yeah? So whoever else is against him is for sure going home. They mentioned maybe using Todd as a pawn. And I'm like, I feel like that whole pawn business, that's going to come to bite them in the butt one day. It just might not work. So we get to the night of the veto. Right? So we have NSYNC, Katan, Mirai, Tadrick, Shayna, and Cynthia are all who are competing for the vetoes. So they're doing this game where you have to, it's in sync with Jennifer Lopez's new movie, Marry Me. So someone is holding up a sign that says Marry Me, and you have to spot it out in a sea of all these other signs and literally just list what quadrant it's in, A, B, or C. I'll be damned if NSYNC got it wrong the first two times. And the first one was so obvious. Big sign like this. And he picked the wrong one. So I'm like, okay, Chris. It ain't looking well for you, bro. So he gets it wrong like the first two times. And it gets down to like, it's like if people are having 4 and he still has none. So I don't know if he just wasn't paying attention or if he was just guessing. But I would think that you would want to win the veto so you can keep your stuff the way that you wanted it to be. So then we have, it gets down to being a tiebreaker, right? And it's between Tadrick and Shayna. So they have to pick a number, and whoever gets as close to the number without going over is going to be the winner. So they asked them, what was the amount of time in hours between the Wan, hat, whatever, and when Todd got put up on the block. So Shayna said 80 hours. Tadrick said Shayna said 72 hours. Tadrick said 180 hours. The answer ends up being 175. So Shayna wins the power of the veto. And you can tell that low-key Tadrick was pissed. I hate how much they hug, too. Like, I'm not a super, super big hugger, but it's like after every challenge, yay, and then they hug. What are we hugging for? Walk over, good job, girl, and keep it going. It's too much touchy-feeliness, I feel like, going on this show. So Shayna has decided that she's going to keep the nominations the same. She likes what Chris has done. So, they get the option they get the opportunity, the last 2 people on the block, to stand up and kind of plead their case before the vote. Chris Kattan gets up and it's like, I've had a good run here, and it's I don't know how to play this game, and it's probably time for me to go on home. Miria, she's a good opponent, and she's been doing her best, and he feels sorry for her, and I'm like, so are you self-eliminating yourself? Can you even do that? I don't know if you can. So then Miria gets up and she says that, even though she hasn't really connected anyone in the house, because she's so much younger than everybody, she's trying her best and, all the typical, please, baby, please keep me type stuff. So they go in to vote, and I'd be damned if every single person voted for Mirai. Even after Chris Kattan is basically like, send me home, they still voted for Mirai. All 7 of them. When I tell you I would have been pissed, if I was her, I would have been floored. So she goes out. They leave the house. Again, everyone's hugging. All right, y'all will see her in a couple days. Like, the germaphobe in me is not going to allow me to just continually be out here hugging folk. So she leaves, and she's outside talking to the host. And she said that, she wasn't mentally prepared for this. She didn't know what to expect when she came into the Big Brother house, But more importantly, a bigger issue for her is that she felt she was lonely, not even from age, but she's not used to being the only Asian American in that house or in a space by herself. And the host, who is older, is like, oh, I have been the only one in the room. But I think this speaks to a bigger question of diversity on the show. Why isn't it four white, four black, four Asian? Why isn't it three white, three black, three Asian, three Hispanic? You know what I mean? Why isn't there more variety in terms of age and stuff like that? Because I feel like nobody should have felt like they were just always on the outs because everybody else knows each other. Like, there are just a lot of different things that her statement about being lonely and kind of being a loner, like always, how she always felt like that in the house, that this can bring up in conversation. So then they show over to the house, and Chris Kattan is like, why am I still here? Because, like, he doesn't understand why he's still here and all this other type of stuff, because he, really felt that she was time. He wanted her to stay because she really wanted to be there to play the game. So then we hear a couple other people saying, well, yeah, she always was there. She wanted space and she wanted to be alone. And it's like, y'all are just trying to think of a way to make it, to try to, like, make yourselves feel better, because this man basically told y'all he wanted to go home, and y'all all went up into that voting booth and sent her home. And then I don't do the live feeds or anything, but I heard that Misha is now HOH again, and just but this has been Celebrity Big Brother. If you have not already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I'm like super close to 3,000 subscribers. I will do my best to come back on Wednesday. If not, I will probably try to do like every other episode, at least putting out some type of video. So if you have not already, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.